Personally, I'm glad, you know.
I've kept still because I knew it wouldn't take Stephen long to get fed up.
From the 1930s through the 1960s, the Hays Code censored everything from kisses to immoral themes. And the Lavender scare made queerness a career killer. These stars weren't just hiding affairs. They were protecting their livelihoods in a homophobic industry. Today, I'll share the stories. Hidden's stories of good girls of Hollywood who were not actually good behind the scenes. The number one will leave you speechless.
You know, I was beginning to be a little lonely.
Number 15. Greta Garbo. Starting with the queen of mystery herself, Greta Garbo. Born in Sweden in 1905, Garbo exploded onto the scene in the 1920s with silent films like Flesh and The Devil, where her sultry gaze made her an instant icon. Off-screen, she was the ultimate good girl. Reclusive, never married, projecting an air of untouchable elegance. But whispers of her lesbian affairs have persisted for decades. Garbo's most famous rumored romance was with poet and playwright Mercedes de Acosta, a notorious Hollywood lesbian who kept a scrapbook of her conquests. De Acosta claimed they shared a passionate affair in the 1930s, complete with love letters that Garbo later tried to destroy. One surviving note from Garbo reads, "I am afraid when I am away from you, I don't like to be separated from you." Historians like Axel Madsen in his biography The Sewing Circle detail how Garbo also had flings with actress Louise Brooks and writer Salka Viertel. Viertel hosted salons where queer intellectuals mingled, and Garbo was a regular. In a time when MGM boss Louis B. Mayer controlled stars' images, Garbo's androgynous style, think tailored suits and fedoras, hinted at her fluidity. She once said, "I never said I want to be alone. I only said, I want to be left alone." That solitude masked deeper secrets. Garbo retired at 36, vanishing from public life, perhaps to escape scrutiny. Her affairs remain unconfirmed by her, but the evidence from contemporaries paints a picture of a woman who loved women fiercely in private. Cut to that iconic scene from Queen Christina, where she dresses as a man, foreshadowing much.
I don't care, Leonard. Just so we'll be together again.
Number 14. Marlene Dietrich. Next up, the Blue Angel herself, Marlene Dietrich. This German-born bombshell, famous for her husky voice and legs insured for $1 million, was Hollywood's glamorous good girl in films like Morocco and Shanghai Express. She played devoted wives and seductive sirens, but always with a moral compass. Off-screen, Dietrich was anything but conventional. Dietrich was openly bisexual, but in the 1930s that meant discretion. She had affairs with women like French singer Edith Piaf and actress Ona Munson. But her most enduring female relationship was with Mercedes de Acosta. Yes, the same one from Garbo's story. De Acosta's diaries describe steamy encounters, including Dietrich sending her flowers and poetry. Dietrich also romanced writer Gertrude Lawrence and even reportedly had a fling with Claudette Colbert. In her autobiography, Dietrich downplayed it, but photos show her in drag at parties, kissing women on the cheek with more than friendly intent. During World War II, she entertained troops in pantsuits, defying gender norms. Biographer Maria Riva, Dietrich's daughter, confirmed her mother's fluid sexuality in Marlene Dietrich, The Life. Dietrich once quipped, "In Europe, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. We make love with anyone we find attractive." Her good girl image was a facade. She hid these affairs to protect her career, but her boldness shines through. Imagine the scandal if tabloids had caught on.
I should object to this twosome. That would be most objectionable.
Number 13. Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn, the independent, trouser-wearing star of the Philadelphia Story, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Hepburn was Hollywood's ultimate good girl, strong-willed, family-oriented, and never one for scandal. She won 4 Oscars and projected Yankee wholesomeness. But beneath that, Hepburn's 26-year marriage to Spencer Tracy was reportedly a cover for her lesbian leanings. Insiders claim Hepburn had affairs with women like Laura Harding, her college friend and companion in the 1930s. They lived together, traveled as a couple, and Harding even managed Hepburn's career. Biographer William J. Mann, in Kate, the woman who was Hepburn reveals letters showing intense emotional bonds. Hepburn also reportedly romanced aviator Howard Hughes's ex, but more tellingly, with actress Cynthia McFadden and director George Cukor's circle of queer friends. Hepburn's androgyny, those slacks she popularized, mirrored her sexuality. She once said, "If you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun." Tracy's alcoholism and Catholicism prevented marriage, but their relationship allowed Hepburn privacy for female lovers. Post-Tracy, she lived with Phyllis Wilborn for decades, a secretary who was likely more. Hepburn denied it all, but the subtext is clear. In a repressive era, she hid her true self to become a legend. Roll that clip of her in Sylvia Scarlett, disguised as a boy, art imitating life.
But I wasn't going to do anything about it, not until I met you.
Number 12. Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara Stanwyck, the tough yet tender star of Double Indemnity and Stella Dallas, was seen as the working-class good girl who rose to fame through grit. Married twice, she embodied domestic bliss on screen. But Stanwyck's private life included rumored lesbian affairs that she guarded fiercely. Her closest bond was with press agent Helen Ferguson, who lived with Stanwyck for years, even during her marriage to Robert Taylor, a union many called a lavender marriage, to hide their queer orientations. Biographer Dan Callahan, in Barbara Stanwyck, The Miracle Woman, details how Ferguson handled Stanwyck's publicity, but their relationship was intimate, with shared homes and vacations. Stanwyck also had flings with Joan Crawford and actress Nancy Kelly. The Stanwyck's bisexuality was an open secret in Hollywood's Sewing Circle, a network of lesbian and bisexual women. She once told a friend, "I don't give a damn what people think." But she did. Divorces and rumors could end careers. Her on-screen independence mirrored her off-screen defiance. Stanwyck never confirmed anything, dying in 1990 with secrets intact. But letters and accounts suggest she found love with women amid the glamour. Picture her in film noir shadows, hiding in plain sight.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't remember. You see, we have so many men come in here.
Number 11. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, the Oscar-winning star of Mildred Pierce, was Hollywood's rags-to-riches good girl, known for her discipline and maternal roles. But Crawford's life was a whirlwind of hidden passions, including lesbian affairs that clashed with her polished image. Crawford's rumored lovers included Marilyn Monroe and actress Eve Arden. But her most intense was with Barbara Stanwyck. Yes, reciprocal rumors. They met on The Bride Wore Red and shared a close bond, with Crawford gifting Stanwyck jewelry. Biographer Charlotte Chandler, in Not the Girl Next Door, quotes friends describing their special friendship. Crawford also had affairs with Dorothy Arzner, Hollywood's only female director in the 1930s, who directed her in The Bride Wore Red. Arzner was openly lesbian, and their collaboration sparked romance. Crawford's 4 marriages were turbulent, perhaps covers for her bisexuality. She once said, "I never go outside unless I look like Joan Crawford, the movie star." That perfectionism extended to secrecy. In the McCarthy era, exposure meant blacklisting. On Crawford's daughter, Christina's mommy dearest, hints at volatility, but omits the queer side. Crawford hid it all to reign as queen. Fascinating, isn't it?
Oh, you're in love. For the first time?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Well, then...
Number 10. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead, the raspy-voiced star of Lifeboat and Broadway hits, was a good girl gone wild. On screen, she played virtuous damsels, but off, she was notorious. Bankhead didn't hide much, but her lesbian affairs were downplayed to avoid total ruin. Bankhead's lovers included actresses like Patsy Kelly and Eva Le Gallienne. She famously quipped, "My father warned me about men and booze, but he never mentioned a word about women and cocaine." Her affair with Billie Holiday was passionate, detailed in Holiday's autobiography, Lady Sings the Blues. Bankhead also romanced Marlene Dietrich and Hattie McDaniel. In biographies like Tallulah by Joel Lobenthal, her bisexuality is central. She hosted orgies but kept female relationships quieter. Bankhead's good girl roles contrasted her life. She was fired from films for scandals but bounced back. She died in 1968, leaving a legacy of unapologetic queerness. Cut to her in The Little Foxes. That fire was real.
When you get to 100, wake me up.
Number 9. Claudette Colbert. Claudette Colbert, the witty star of It Happened One Night, was the charming good girl who won hearts with her sophistication. Married twice, she projected heteronormative bliss, but rumors of lesbian affairs swirled. Colbert's closest was with artist Verna Hull, who lived with her for years. Biographer Bernard F. Dick in Claudette Colbert. She Walked in Beauty describes their bond as intimate, with shared travels. De Colbert also had flings with Marlene Dietrich and Katharine Hepburn. Her marriage to Dr. Joel Pressman was reportedly platonic, a cover. Colbert's elegance masked her secrets. She once said, "I like to play women who are not like me." In the 1940s, she avoided scandal by discretion. Her affairs added depth to her independent image. Imagine the headlines if outed, career over.
And try to make something like a home for you.
Number 8. Agnes Moorehead. Agnes Moorehead, the formidable actress from Citizen Kane and Bewitched, was a good girl archetype. Devout, professional, no scandals. But her private life included hidden lesbian relationships. Moorehead's long-term partner was actress Debbie Reynolds' stand-in. But more documented is her bond with director Dorothy Arzner and the Sewing Circle. Biographer Charles Tranberg in I Love the Illusion reveals letters showing affections with women like Geraldine Fitzgerald. Moorehead married twice, but both ended quickly, likely beards. Her and Dora role on Bewitched hinted at queerness, campy and magical. Moorehead hid her affairs due to her radio ministry background. She died in 1974, secrets buried. Her story shows how faith and fame clashed with identity.
You, Miranda, I have told you 10,000 times to knock before you enter.
Number 7. Spring Byington. Spring Byington, the sweet matron in You Can't Take It With You, was Hollywood's ultimate good girl. Kind, maternal roles defined her. Widowed young, she never remarried, fueling rumors. Byington's affairs included actress Zasu Pitts, with whom she shared a home. Biographies note their Boston marriage, a euphemism for lesbian partnerships. Byington also mingled in queer circles with Bankhead. Her discretion was key. In the 1950s, McCarthyism targeted queers. Byington's warmth on screen hid personal truths. She passed away in 1971, legacy intact.
Come on, give me that piece of paper you wrote the address on. Right.
Number 6. Patsy Kelly. Patsy Kelly, the comic relief in films like The Gorilla, was a bubbly, good girl sidekick. Openly lesbian in private, she hid it publicly. Kelly's lovers included Tallulah Bankhead and actress Jean Milan. In Hollywood, Lesbians by Bose Hadley, Kelly admitted, "I've been gay all my life." Her career suffered from rumors, leading to a hiatus. Kelly's humor masked pain. She returned in the 1960s, bolder. Her story highlights comedy as camouflage. Born Bridget Sarah Veronica Rose Kelly in Brooklyn, New York, in 1910, Patsy got her nickname from her brother and started in vaudeville at age 12, dancing with her sibling Willie. She transitioned to Broadway in the 1920s, starring in shows like Three Cheers with Will Rogers, before heading to Hollywood in 1933. There, she became known as the Queen of Wisecracks, partnering with Thelma Todd in Hal Roach shorts, delivering snappy one-liners in films like The Girl from Missouri, Page Miss Glory, and Pigskin Parade. Her roles often cast her as the sassy maid or sidekick, embodying the era's plucky, good girl archetype with a tomboyish edge. Despite her success, Patsy's openness about her sexuality in private circles led to professional setbacks. She lived with actress Wilma Cox for years, openly telling Motion Picture Magazine in the 1930s that she had no intention of marrying a man. A bold statement for the time. This candor reportedly got her blackballed by studios in the 1940s, forcing a retreat to New York for radio work, summer stock, and entertaining troops during World War II. She served as personal assistant to her lover Tallulah Bankhead, living in Bankhead's Bedford Village mansion and appearing in Dear Charles. Their affair was passionate and lifelong, with Patsy confirming it near the end of her life, calling them best friends until Tallulah's death in 1968. Patsy also had a relationship with Jean Malin, an early, openly gay performer. Her wartime film, Danger. Women at Work showcased her defiance, but post-war, she worked as Bankhead's domestic to make ends meet. Patsy staged a comeback in the 1960s, earning a Tony nomination for No, Nanette, and appearing in Rosemary's Baby and Freaky Friday. She died in 1981 from cancer, though leaving a legacy as an LGBT icon who lived authentically despite Hollywood's constraints. Her quips and resilience remind us how comedy often hid deeper truths in an unforgiving era. Picture her cracking wise on screen, pure camouflage for a trailblazing life.
Well, they was more than likely right. Then I tried giving them money.
Number 5. Ona Munson. Ona Munson, known for Gone with the Wind as Belle Watling, played good girls with edge. Her affairs included Marlene Dietrich and playwright Mercedes de Acosta. Biographies describe passionate letters. Munson's marriages were short. She committed suicide in 1955, possibly from depression over secrecy. Her tale is tragic, showing the toll of hiding. Born Owena Elizabeth Wolcott in Portland, Oregon in 1903, Ona adopted her stage name early in her career. She started in vaudeville as a dancer and singer, making her Broadway debut in 1919 with Hold Everything, and later starring in No, Nanette. Transitioning to Hollywood in the 1930s, she appeared in films like Going Wild and Five Star Final, often as the sultry supporting character. Her iconic role as the kind-hearted Madame Belle Watling in Gone with the Wind earned her acclaim, with her red hair and compassionate portrayal standing out amid the epic. Ona was part of Hollywood's Sewing Circle, the secret network of lesbian and bisexual women formed around Alla Nazimova in the 1920s. Her affairs included Nazimova herself, Greta Garbo, and Dorothy Arzner, Hollywood's pioneering female director. With Mercedes de Acosta, their romance was intense. Ona wrote letters longing to pour my love into you. She also had a liaison with Marlene Dietrich, adding to her web of high-profile relationships. Ona married 3 times, first to director Edward Bazell in 1926, then Eugene Berman in 1949, brief, and Stuart MacDonald in 1941, a Lavender marriage to conceal her bisexuality amid tabloid scrutiny. Fearing outing, she ended some romances abruptly. Post-Gone with the Wind, typecasting as bad girls, limited her roles, leading to films like The Shanghai Gesture. Struggling with health issues and depression, possibly exacerbated by secrecy, she overdosed on sleeping pills in 1955, leaving a note. This is the only way I know to be free again. Please don't follow me. Her story underscores the era's pressures on queer women in Hollywood, where glamour hid profound personal costs. Imagine her as Belle, edgy, empathetic, mirroring Ona's hidden depths.
Oh, not so fast.
Well, gosh, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you too, but...
Number 4. Louise Brooks. Louise Brooks, the flapper icon of Pandora's Box, was a rebellious, good girl. Her affairs with Greta Garbo and Pepe Lederer are detailed in Lulu in Hollywood. Brooks's bisexuality was open in memoirs, but hidden during her peak. She retired young, disillusioned. Brooks' bob haircut symbolized freedom she couldn't fully embrace. Mary Louise Brooks was born in Cherryvale, Kansas, in 1906, to artistic parents who encouraged her dance training. At 15, she joined the Denishon Dance Company, touring with Ted Shawn and Martha Graham, but was fired for her rebellious nature. Moving to New York, she became a Ziegfeld Follies dancer and silent film star, debuting in The Street of Forgotten Men. Now her bobbed hair and carefree flapper persona made her a jazz-age symbol in films like Rolled Stockings and Beggars of Life, where she played cross-dressing roles hinting at her fluidity. Louise's sexuality was fluid. She had affairs with men like Charlie Chaplin and producer Walter Wenger, but also women. She admitted to 2 affairs with girls out of curiosity, but preferred men, though she cultivated queer friendships with Pepe Lederer and Peggy Fears. Her one-night stand with Greta Garbo was legendary, and she dismissed bisexuality labels saying, "All my life it has been fun for me." Married twice, first to director Eddie Sutherland, then Deering Davis. Her unions were turbulent, often covers for her independence. A childhood assault at age 9 influenced her attraction to dominant men, yet she never claimed to be in love. Blacklisted for refusing sound tests and clashing with studios, she moved to Europe, starring in G.W. Pabst's Pandora's Box as Lulu, a seductive bisexual, and Diary of a Lost Girl, exploring lesbian themes. Retiring at 32, she faced poverty, working as a salesgirl before rediscovery in the 1950s via her essays in Lulu in Hollywood. She died in 1985 from a heart attack. Brooks' legacy as a pansexual icon endures, her bob representing untamed spirit in a repressive Hollywood. Roll that Pandora's Box clip. Pure rebellion. Number 3. Alla Nazimova. Alla Nazimova, the silent star of Salome, was a dramatic good girl. She hosted lesbian salons, romancing Jean Acker, Rudolph Valentino's wife, and Eva Le Gallienne. Nazimova's Garden of Allah was a queer hub. Bankrupt by scandals, she hid affairs later. Her influence on Hollywood queerness is immense. Born Adelaida Levinton in Yalta, Crimea, in 1879 to Jewish parents, Alla endured an abusive childhood after her parents' divorce, forbidden from mentioning her mother. Studying theater in Moscow under Stanislavski, she adopted Nazimova and debuted in Russia before emigrating to New York in 1905. Her Broadway breakthrough came with Ibsen's Hedda Gabler, 1906, earning acclaim for her intense, modern portrayals. By 1916, she entered silent films with War Brides, becoming Metro's highest-paid actress at $13,000 weekly. Openly bisexual in private, Alla coined Sewing Circle for Hollywood's lesbian network. Her affairs included Eva Le Gallienne, Dorothy Arzner, Mercedes de Acosta, Dolly Wilde, and Anna May Wong. Though she romanced Jean Acker and hosted salons at her Garden of Allah estate on Sunset Boulevard, a queer haven with Black Sea-shaped pool, attracting A-listers and sapphic circles. Converted to the Garden of Allah Hotel in 1927, it became infamous for wild parties. Married to actor Charles Bryant and earlier Sergei Golovin, she preferred women, once preferring cameraman Paul Ivano, but mostly female lovers. Her 1923 film Salome, an all-queer cast adaptation of Wilde's play, was a cultural landmark but financial flop, leading to bankruptcy. She returned to Broadway in the 1930s, earning a Tony nod posthumously, and appeared in talkies like Escape. Dying in 1945 from heart disease, Nazimova's legacy as Sapphic Hollywood's founding mother endures, her salons fostering queer creativity amid censorship. Imagine her in Salome, daring, divine.
As much as we say we love him, I expect...
Number 2. Eva Le Gallienne. Eva Le Gallienne, theater star in Hollywood films like Prince of Players, was a poised, good girl. Her affairs with Nazimova, Bankhead, and Acosta are chronicled in shattered applause. Le Gallienne founded theaters but hid her lesbianism. Scarred by a fire, she persevered. Her story is one of resilience. Born in London in 1899, to poet Richard Le Gallienne and Danish journalist Julie Norregard, Eva grew up bohemian, debuting on stage at 15 in Mrs. Bolte's Daughters. Moving to New York in 1915, she became a Broadway sensation in Mrs. Bolte's Daughters and Lilium, earning praise for her emotional depth. Openly lesbian from youth, she embraced her sexuality confidently, writing it was the most beautiful thing in the world. Her first major affair was with Alla Nazimova in 1918, followed by a tumultuous 5-year romance with Mercedes de Acosta, marked by jealousy and passion. Lovers included Tallulah Bankhead, Beatrice Lillie Gladys Calthrop, and actress Mary Duggett, her first love. She considered a front marriage to Basil Rathbone, but rejected it. In 1927, she founded the Civic Repertory Theater, producing 37 plays and championing Ibsen and Chekhov, making theater accessible. A 1930 gas explosion scarred her hands, possibly arson from homophobic hate. She recovered resiliently. Later, she co-founded the American Repertory Theater and appeared in films like Resurrection and Prince of Players. Her 30-year partnership with Marion Gunnar Evenson Westlake began after a romance with Josephine Hutchinson caused scandal in 1934. Eva translated Ibsen, authored books like At 33, and earned a Tony in 1964. Dying in 1991, her legacy as a queer theater pioneer shines. Think of her on stage, poised yet revolutionary. Number 1. Mercedes de Acosta. Finally, Mercedes de Acosta, screenwriter and poet, linked to many above. Though not a major actress, she starred in minor roles and was the ultimate connector. Affairs with Garbo, Dietrich, and more fill her memoirs. De Acosta's good girl facade hid her role as Hollywood's lesbian Lothario. Poverty-stricken later, she sold stories. Her life ties it all together. Born in New York in 1892 to wealthy Cuban Spanish immigrants, Mercedes Hedda de Acosta grew up privileged, attending Manhattan's convent of the Blessed Sacrament with Dorothy Parker. She debuted as a poet with Moods, Archways of Life, and Streets and Shadows, then playwright with Johanna Dark and Jacob Slovak. Now moving to Hollywood in the 1930s, she wrote uncredited for Rasputin and The Empress, and unproduced scripts like a Clara Barton biopic. Married to artist Abram Poole, it was a facade for her lesbianism. Openly queer, Mercedes was Hollywood's greatest lover. Romancing Alla Nazimova, Isadora Duncan, Eva Le Gallienne, Marlene Dietrich, Greta Garbo, Ona Munson, Tamara Karsavina, Pola Negri, and Alice B. Toklas. Her memoir, Here Lies the Heart, detailed these, angering exes like Garbo, who ended their friendship. Letters to Garbo reveal passion. I kiss your beautiful hands and your heart, forever M. She called herself a seductress of beautiful women, a political activist in elite circles. Financial woes hit in the 1950s. She sold Garbo's letters to fund surgery and lived in poverty until dying in 1968 from a brain tumor. Her unpublished works, like a recent rediscovered book, highlight her literary side. Mercedes' web of romances connected Hollywood's queer underbelly, her boldness inspiring amid secrecy. She ties our list, networker extraordinaire. There you have it, 15 classic Hollywood good girls who navigated love in the shadows. From Garbo's mystery to De Acosta's web of romances, these women remind us that history is richer when we uncover the hidden. In an era of censorship and fear, their courage shines. If this video sparked your interest, comment your favorite star below, and subscribe for more untold stories. What hidden history should we cover next? Thanks for watching. Stay curious.